Hey Rachel, we're live.
Oh, I forgot we weren't doing a countdown. I'm sorry.
30, 29. Do, 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 do,
Hello,
do, 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 do.
everyone.
Hi everyone.
I definitely forgot that we weren't doing that, so I'm sorry.
Happy Friday, Rachel. How are you on this Friday?
I I'm doing all right. How are you?
I'm pretty good. This is like the last thing of my Friday, so I'm excited. And my
Of
sister
your
comes
week?
in town tonight.
Oh, other Rachel. She just had a birthday.
Yes, her birthday was yesterday. Um, and she gets an SFO like at midnight tonight, so I'm gonna go pick her up. And I get to
Oh,
have my sister again for Thanksgiving.
yay.
Um, I'm also toying. I still want to come to New York in December, so I'm still toying with that idea.
That would be so cool.
I was talking to a friend of mine today, and he's like, "Oh, you should come, 100%. You can come see me in the opera I'm in." I'm like, "Oh, okay, cool, sounds good."
That's exciting.
Yeah. Alrighty. Hi
Yeah.
everyone. I see lovely faces in the comments. A lot of folks on YouTube today. So hello to our YouTube folks, and hello to the folks watching like the replay on YouTube in the future. And hi to our folks on Facebook. Yeah,
Yeah.
Julie says, "Love your necklace, Malice." And Rachel and I were just talking about it, how Rachel totally coordinated that necklace with her sweater and didn't even realize it. Uh-oh, Rachel froze. Or I hope I didn't freeze. Let's see. Huh, I don't know what happened. I think Rachel is frozen, so we'll give her a second to rejoin. Oh no, that's just her computer has fully froze. Just give us 1 second, and then we're gonna jump into our cluster earrings for today. Let me text Rachel really quick. I can see Rachel's working on it because I can see her overhead. Julie says, Sam, you're a beater's addict nightmare trying to open the bubble wrap. Well, that means they're safe, Julie. All right, Rachel's working on rejoining. We'll be back in just a second. But today's project are some lovely cluster earrings that Rachel came up with that are gorgeous. Kind of a little bit variation from a classic cluster earring. Hi, Rachel. Rachel's back. It's
Hi, I'm
okay.
sorry
It's
I got
okay,
kicked
Rachel.
out and then I like reset my browser. I'm having my boyfriend's friend is visiting and he messed with my internet.
Well, you're back. It's all good. We're just
So
excited to
I'm
start beating with
sorry.
you.
I'm hopefully it only happens at the beginning before we've done anything. So
Exactly.
I'm hoping that it means that that is my one technology issue for the night and we're done. I can't believe we did that at the same
I wasn't even looking at you.
time.
Um, all right, will you
Yeah,
tell
me
us about your
neither.
project? I'm gonna add your
Yeah,
overhead.
so today we're making cluster earrings, and I always kind of wondered how people made cluster earrings. And I saw like a couple different tutorials online, but I decided to come up with my own version because I love like an extra little dangle. So we're going to be making these, and I already made one of the ones that I am going to be doing today, just because it is a lot of wrapping. So in these cluster earrings, I've used the little cube beads from Sam. These are the African turquoise, which is a jasper. And then
Ooh.
I also use these pretty labradorites. And then
Oh, so
today I'm
did you
gonna
do, is it a mix of stones in the cluster? Or is it
no,
one
it's
stone?
all the African turquoise.
Oh, pretty.
And then today I'm gonna be actually using that again because I loved how it looked, but I'm gonna be using copper and these really cool check glass mask beads that Sam had.
I'm calling them moody faces.
Oh yeah, don't give me gum gum.
Dum dum gimme gum gum.
Yes. If anybody
um,
knows Night at the Museum,
and maybe Jesse, can you drop the link to those or see if they're published?
to Night at
Because
the
I know we
Museum.
to the beads. Even if they're not, what do you say, Jesse? The moody face beads. Even if they're not published, maybe you can still drop the link. Or even if they don't have a photo, you can publish it and drop the link. Um, I'm so happy that you're using those, Rachel, because I love those beads so much. They have so
I
much
think they're
little
so
personality to
fun.
them. And this, I'm so curious how you put your clusters together because I made a bunch of clusters in the past. I had like one of the most used to be one of my favorite designs was like Chinese crystal
Hmm.
cluster earrings. I made dozens of them. I love them. And now I feel like you've come up with a little bit more like elegant version of cluster earrings. So hit us with your
Yes,
best shot.
I think so. Yeah, they're a little longer. So what you're gonna need for this project is you're gonna need focal beads. I would suggest these. I think are probably about 12 millimeters. I would suggest using at least like 10 millimeters. You want to have something that's substantial enough to stand up to all of the clustering that you're going to be doing below it. Um, then you're also going to need beads to cluster with, obviously. These I think are like 3 millimeters, possibly 2.5 millimeters. I wouldn't go a whole lot bigger than 3 millimeters because you do want to take into account that we're putting, I don't remember how many beads I have on this one. I think it's probably like 17, maybe. We're putting a lot of beads on here, so you don't want them to weigh too much. And then I'm like paused on my screen. Hopefully you can still hear me.
Yeah,
Um,
all good.
and all right. Uh, you can still hear me? Okay, my computer is acting bananas.
Yeah,
Um,
you're smooth
I'm
actually.
sorry. Um, so you're also going to need either 28 gauge or 26 gauge head pins, or you can use wire. I'm going to use the wire today just to show you how to do it because it is a lot of head pins if you don't keep them around. They can be expensive if you use silver. So I'm going to show you how to do it with the wire. And then you're also going to need 20 gauge wire. You're just going to need a little bit, and you're going to need a little bit of chain. I put 2 inches just because I think that if you wanted them to be a little bit longer, 2 inches is a great amount. I have little chain links here. And then you're also going to need 2 jump rings. You want it to be sort of the same size as your chain links so it blends in and you don't notice the jump ring.
Gotcha.
And then an ear wire, 2 ear wires.
Those look like some
And that's it.
Rachel Mallis
And then
ear
we're going to
wires.
use our round nose pliers, our chain nose pliers, and our flush cutters.
Nice. Just double check you can still hear me, Rachel.
You can hear me all right, right?
I can hear you. Can you hear me? I don't think Rachel can hear me anymore.
I'm going to switch my audio through my phone really quick because I'm just not trusting my computer.
Alrighty. Rachel's gonna update one last thing and then we're gonna jump into our project. I don't think she can hear me currently, but that's okay.
No, hold me just a sec. Hold on just a second. I'm
No
sorry.
rush. Um, okay, I'm glad. I had a hunch that folks could hear me and then just something was up. Um, Rachel's gotten fast at switching audio, so in just a moment. Ah, she's
Yeah,
back.
I'm back. Yes,
All right,
I'm sorry. I think my phone is behaving better than my computer, so I think we're going to go with the audio through that today.
nice.
Because at least I can hear you even if you're buffering.
Because I was commenting, I was like, oh, I don't think Rachel could hear me right now. I was like, fascinating.
Nope. Yes, I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
Definitely going to ask him to put the internet back when he gets back here. So we're going to go ahead and start. I like to start by making as many of my clusters at once. Now, I wouldn't make all of them at once because we are going to be attaching 3 of them directly to the chain. So we can make, if you're making a head, you can make you can make 12 of the little clusters. And then we're going to attach 3 of them. So what is that? That's 15. And you can attach other ones to other areas if you wanted. You could put more on the bottom. You could put more on the top. You could do more on the chain. This is just the way that I like to do them. So I'm going to start with my wire, and you may have seen me do this before. I know Sam's seen me do this before, but if any of you are new to classes, I like my chain nose pliers. You want ones that have a rounded top for this, and you're going to grab the end of your wire and just twist it around so that you get a little hook. And then you're going to come in and you're going to pinch it, but you don't want to flatten it. So you've made a little loop, and this will keep your beads from falling off. So that's a great way to make a little head pin if you don't have a billion of them lying around for this project.
So this is just in lieu of headpins. This would also totally work with like a thin
Yes.
gauge headpin as well. Yeah.
I find, especially when I decided I wanted to do this in copper, my copper head pins are so stiff. Like there's no way I ever would have been able to use them for this project because you want them to be dainty little wraps. So now we're just going to start wrapping them. So I've got my pliers up against my cube, and I did a 90-degree bend over it. I'm going to come back over the top of my pliers and then just do my little wrap. I should have prepped like a ton of these and I didn't, but I did make a whole earring. So we might take that one apart just to show you.
Oh my gosh, we do our wrapped loops almost the same way. And every time I do it, Wanda's like, ah!
Why?
Because apparently a lot of folks will do the wrapping. They'll switch how they're holding the hoop and they'll start holding it with their dominant hand when they do the wrapping.
Yeah, I caught what were you wrapping on the other day?
Yeah,
It was
I
when
don't
we were
remember.
doing our class or our unboxing.
I was wrapping something, and that's when this came up. And now I didn't notice that we both do it the same way, and I love that we both do it the same way.
Yeah, I didn't know. It never occurred to me to change, but I'm very into keeping things as absolutely efficient as possible. And I feel like for me, it is not efficient to be changing hands or changing pliers a lot of the time.
Christine is asking what gauge you're using to make
Oh,
your
I'm
little
sorry.
head
This
pins.
is 28 gauge, but you could also use 26 gauge. It kind of depends on how big the hole on your beads are and just what you have on hand. 26 gauge will also work. I wouldn't go bigger than that because, again, these are earrings, so you don't want them to be too heavy.
Oh, so using a thinner gauges of wire so that you can keep the earrings lightweight, fit through the
Yeah.
beads. Gotcha. Okay.
I try ever since I've started selling more jewelry, I try to think about the weight of things a lot more because some people do have really sensitive ears, and especially if they've had their ears pierced for longer and kind of stretched them out, you can have some earlobe accidents. So I try to keep everything as light as I possibly can, if at all possible. This one I might have smushed down too much. You'll know if you've smushed it down too much because then your bead will fall off. So you think you might have smushed it down too much, you can usually pull the bead off. I'm gonna just
I'm
clip
not
off the
great
end.
at your smush technique. I have not. It is one I have not mastered yet. So I'm
You have
lucky
to be
enough to.
gentle with it.
Yeah, mine ends up looking a little not great. So
I'm just
um,
trying to smush the top part where the open end is. I'm not trying to smush the bottom part where I want my loop to be. I don't know if that helps you at all. You could also make those knotted head pins that Sarah Lovecraft makes. That would totally work for this. As, since it's such a small gauge, I don't think it would add too much weight.
yeah. I
And
also, if you have a torch, you can make your own ball head pins in any gauge wire that you want. I've made one batch years ago that was actually quite fun.
this is
Um,
a lot of ball head pins to make, though.
I know, but fun with fire, you know. Um,
Yeah, I'm not gonna tell you how I make my ball head pins
nope.
because you're gonna. It's not Sam's Bead Shop advocated. Um, it's a fire hazard. Um, there's a little piece of silver that I accidentally dripped onto my stove, and it's never gonna come off now.
Oh, you've said so much already. It's
Yeah,
decorated now.
it's decorate. I would like to decorate it more, quite honestly. It's not very pretty.
I see a Rasha in the comments. How are you today, Rasha? Rasha, you gonna come on here one day and show us the basics to making a tree? Because we just want to know how they come together.
That would
It
be
looks
so fun. I would
complicated.
watch that.
Or like, have you ever made a mini tree, Rasha? I would like want to come up with a mini tree.
I used to make earring trees a long time ago, um, out of like craft wire. The
And
pilot light on my stove, that's hilarious. Um, Hermie says that you can also flatten the end of the wire, and that would be super great too. You could just take it and like hammer it, and that
oh
would be
yeah,
awesome. If you're gonna do that, I
absolutely.
would probably use the 26 gauge because the 28 gauge really is very small and doesn't flatten out that much.
Oh right, you could totally make some like hammered paddle head pins.
That would be really
Um,
cute. You don't want to hammer too much of it because it'll be very it'll take up a lot of visual weight, but come on. The hardest part of beading, I think, is finding the holes to the beads.
I'm still eyeing those bifocals or something that we were talking about on Wednesday. That sounds really appealing to me.
I would rather just pony up the money, get a new credit card, and get LASIK. Um,
No, but I want the magnification because my eyes are fine, but I want the magnification.
see,
Can someone message me the link to those? Because folks were saying they were like $30, and I just need someone to tell me which one to buy, and I'm ready.
it was Shira.
Shara, hit me with that link, please.
I don't think Shira's here.
I saw Shira a little bit ago.
Did you?
Yes.
I am not doing a very good job keeping up on the comments, so maybe I
I got
missed a
you.
Shira. Robin says she
Ro-
has a recommendation.
yes, please, Robin. Thank you very much.
Yes. Post it somewhere. Post it in Gem Chat, like as a post.
Yes, please.
Because
We
then
all need
maybe
one.
maybe everyone has like other recommendations for things that make beading easier too.
Sounds like a great thread.
3, 4, yeah, 5, 6, 7. So I have 7, and I'm going for 12. They're pretty fast to whip up if you do them all at once. And again, I'm very glad I made one of the earrings, so you don't have to watch me do this forever.
One of my favorite pastimes is watching you make wrap loops, Rachel.
I know you say that, but I feel like everyone doesn't want to watch me do it forever. I should have TikToks literally just of me wrapping loops.
I would watch them.
I need to borrow a whatever the generation after millennial is to come and make TikToks for me because it's too hard and I can't do it. It's
This is
like
exactly how I feel. It's
it's
like
too
I
hard.
s- I struggle with Instagram, and that's a photo editing app essentially, and then TikTok is a video editing app, and it's way more difficult.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just read Racha's comment.
What did Rush say?
So I had this little jewelry box that I had bought and I had a ballerina on it and it's I collect like music boxes and stuff, but since I moved back to New York um there's just nowhere for me to have the collection and that one was just so pretty and I needed it to go somewhere. So I asked Raja if Delaney likes dancers. She said yes, so I sent her the little music box.
That's
She said that
adorable.
that she calls it her Mally and carries jewels around in it. That's amazing
I love
and
it.
so funny.
So Monica would like to know how many you're making of these, because I think we're all fascinated to see like what the structure of this cluster
Yes,
is going
so
to
for
be.
this earring, I am making 12. And then we're gonna make 3 more, but we're gonna connect them directly to it, so don't make them yet.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so I have 3 more to make. It
So
will
we only
be
need 15 itty bitty beads per earring, which is not bad.
unless you
Because
wanna put some more other places or you wanna make more dangles. It's a very flexible design, very easy to make your own. Um, you can add dangles to the ear wires if you wanted. You could just like slip one on there. You could add more to the bottom if you wanted to. Especially the first step that I'll show you is a really good spot you could add more to if you wanted to.
Carol, I believe that Rachel's using a bead that's just over 2 millimeters. We have a bunch of these little cubes in the shop
Most of
that are,
them are like 2.5 millimeters.
yeah, they're all pretty close to 2.5 millimeters, and it looks like I'm so glad you're featuring them, Rachel, because it's such a great idea to
Yeah,
use
I
those.
actually have calipers, so let me see. I've made this design with other 2.3. Let's go from this side. No, I
And
dropped it.
this would also work with like a little round. You could use a
Yeah,
2 to 3 millimeter
absolutely.
round as well.
I'm trying to think if I have another. I would have to go digging to show you the other ones I've done. But you could absolutely use a little bit bigger of a bead. You could use a little smaller of a bead. You could use seed beads if you really wanted to. Um, Another great bead would be you recently had those little hematites. I was thinking those would be really good for this.
I feel like I was just told people this idea on that live set. I was like, y'all, hematite could be like our next super fun itty bitty bead. And like some people bought them, but we still have a bunch of them, and I am just still so determined to show you how cool they're gonna be. And I know it'll mean I need to make a project with them.
You need to
Um,
make this project with them.
okay.
Okay, I got one
Right
more to
now?
do.
Right now?
Sure.
I gotta go steal one from inventory. Hold please. Let's
So,
see. I think these are on the website. Let's see. Hematite. Oh no, they're not yet on the website. But let's see here. Alrighty, I'm gonna go steal one.
okay. So I'm on my last one. And after this, we're going to grab our 20 gauge wire. So if you don't have that near you, you'll definitely want that. And we're going to be working with our focal-ish beads. I'm calling them focal beads. They're not really the focal. I feel like the whole earring is the focal, but they're the larger bead, which is why I'm calling them that.
Right. I think that's logical.
So I'm just going to grab a little piece of 20 gauge wire.
Okay, I got the hematite. I'm just gonna start wrapping. I said you just got me to start saying hematite. I've always said hematite, and I couldn't tell you which one's right.
I don't know which one's right either. I read everything. So I've got my piece of wire and I'm gonna just make a regular loop. I call them the simple loops. You know, they're not that simple, especially if you're more of a beginner, but
Yes, they're quite
simple in
evil.
terms of they're not the complicated ones.
I'm gonna try this with my head pins and see how they come out.
All right. So we're doing the simple loop on either end of our little focal beads. And then the next step is to open up that loop you just made. So you just open it up right like a jump ring. And we're gonna, and if you have your jump ring with you, you are gonna need that. And you're gonna wanna close it. Oh, I want to show this like little tip that I'll show it in a minute, that I came
What's
up
that?
with, that I don't know if it's really like a thing I came up with, but we're gonna say it is.
Okay.
But anyway, I'm gonna thread 4 of my little dangles on here, and then the jump ring, and then 4 more little dangles. If you didn't want your cluster to be really long, you could just load up this part with dangles if you really wanted to.
Have you experimented with putting multiple little beads on a head pin in these clusters?
Um, I have not, but you could.
I shall.
I
I will show
again,
you the
I
results.
just want you to think about weight.
Yeah, and these hematites are pretty lightweight and they're just like so small. Also, my earrings don't tend to be worn. I just admire them, so a little less concerned. But I think a couple more little beads was not going to hurt these. I mean, think of how many itty bitty beads we put onto your wrapped projects, like the
Yeah.
wrapped hoop earrings, and those are
So,
fine.
um, the next thing you're gonna do is you're gonna close your loop, and then you're gonna come and find your jump ring. Now, here is my tip I wanted to show you. I've recently been like, I need another pair of chain nose pliers, and then I realized the end of my crimper pliers are basically chain nose pliers. They're
Oh,
flat.
sure.
Yeah. So that's what I've been doing with that and the magic crimpers. So then I'm gonna come in here and I'm gonna thread on 2 of my dangles, and then I'm gonna thread on my chain. I went ahead and pre-cut my chain, but when I make the first one, I usually leave the chain long, and then I look at it and see how long I think I want it to be. But I will measure this chain and let you know how long it is, just so that if you want to make it exactly like mine, you can. And then I'm going to close my jump ring. So I put 2 on there, and then the chain, and then 2 more. This little piece of chain is very little. And let's see.
Rasha says, I don't wear my earrings. That seems like a waste of fabulous. Well, Rasha, I'll start wearing them the day you come over here and pierce my ears, okay?
That could be arranged. I bet Jesse could do it for you.
Oh,
My little piece of chain is about half an inch long. Is Jesse still there?
wait, what do you say, Jesse? Oh, geez.
What did he say?
He said he pierced his own ears.
So see, he could do it for you. All you need
Oh,
is a safety pin, an ice cube, and Lindsay Lohan. Um,
again, not endorsing.
um, okay. So then I am gonna get another piece of 28 gauge wire. Oh, and in case you missed it, my little piece of chain is about half an inch. You can do longer. The one on this earring is a little bit longer. I just liked the shorter look for this one. This chain is about 3/4 of an inch. So it's really however long you want it, however long you want the little dangle to look. So see, it's a little bit different on that one versus this one. It's just a little bit shorter. So now I'm going to be directly connecting to more dangles. Let's review really quick what we did. So I went through and I connected 4 dangles to the bottom of the loop on here, then a jump ring, then 4 more dangles. Then I came in and attached 2 dangles to the jump ring, a piece of chain, and then 2 more dangles and closed the jump ring. So now we're going to be connecting directly to it. This is the trickiest part. So I'm going to go ahead and start my little dangles. Like my beads always end up everywhere. I don't know. I don't know how people keep everything neat.
I don't know how anyone does anything neatly. It's not how I've ever operated in my entire life. I don't know if it ever will start.
All right. So,
I think I currently have 4 different beading trays going from every single recent beading thing we've done. I just put the tray aside and I grab a new tray. Currently, I'm not even working on a tray. I'm just working straight on my desk. So good luck to me. My desk is already not very clean to start, Rachel.
okay, hang on. There's a couple of questions. This wire is 28 gauge, and I would say if you're just gonna buy a few gauges of wire, I would get 20 gauge, 24 gauge, and 26 gauge. 22 gauge is nice to have, but that's what I would probably start with if you're only gonna get 3. 20, 24, and 26, personally. Now, if you want to get 5 gauges, I would also get 18 and 22 gauge. 28 gauge I love, but I don't think it's 100% necessary. I think it's just nice to have.
I'm a big fan of 18 gauge from all the hoop projects we've done.
Yeah.
It's like a very good base thing that you can wrap onto.
So at this point, I've got my little cube on here and I've got my loop made, but I don't have it wrapped around. So I'm going to come in and I like to grab the earring from the bottom of the chain, because this way it makes it really easy to see the chain. And we're going to put one dangle on either side of this first loop that's closest to our jump ring. So you'll go ahead and insert your wire through here.
Rachel, you are one of the neatest beaters that I know, though. Like,
Really? I
yeah,
think it's
because you have
because I'm literally beading in my living room that is also my like kitchen. This desk has to also have my laptop sometimes, so whoops. Drop the whole thing.
yeah, I mean, especially judging from like your how you store your stash, it's so well like organized and labeled.
It's gotten less organized and less labeled as of late.
Because when I was there, it was every single thing had a label and a price, a cost,
Oh, well, they
and
also have labels and prices. I will say that, but the boxes are not like, this is all my blue beads. It's not like that anymore. Now it's just like, when did I buy it? And then I can figure
oh,
out kind of what box it's in.
I feel like I would forget that very quickly.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a problem. The biggest problem is I never want to use all of anything, so that's why I had to buy more bead boxes, because I just have little bits of everything. They need to start making them shallower. They're
Can
too
Are you okay mixing multiple types of beads in one compartment?
sometimes, not so much. But anyway, so now I
Hard
have
no.
my second one. So I'm gonna come in here, I'm gonna grab the end of my chain, and I am going to loop onto the other side. Oh, I know, off screen. I'm coming back as soon as it stops catching on my fingernail. There we go. Okay. And then wrap that. Come in here and cut. Now with 28 gauge wire, I find that I'm able to get it kind of close enough that I don't need to like tuck all of my wires. But a recent tip that I don't remember, you probably remember who said this, maybe. Somebody said recently that they use their crimpers to tuck wire ends, and I just want to say whoever gave that tip out is a genius. And if you have not used your crimpers to tuck your wire ends, it will change your life.
Okay, I'm gonna try it out right now. Let's see.
I also want to answer this question from Cynthia. She said, "Did you say what brand you like the best?" Um, I actually use just like solid copper wire or sterling silver usually. I don't usually use any type of brand. So I buy mine from Monster Slayer. Their website looks like they're fake, but they're not. Um, so
Correct.
I'm using bare copper wire or sterling silver, and then I oxidize it myself.
And you can get bare copper wire from many companies.
You can
Rachel
get
and I
it
like,
from the craft store. You can get it literally from Home Depot. Um,
yeah, bare copper wire. Rachel and I like to send people to Monster Slayer because it's another small business, and I like to support them. But Softflex, Beadsmith, and Beadalon and Parawire all make various bare copper wires, and they make wires that have coatings on them to help with anti-tarnish. Rachel and I tend to recommend bare copper wire since you can patina it yourself.
I think it's also for me, like, I like to know exactly what is going into it, kind of. I don't know if that makes sense. I like to know the genetic makeup of the wire. Um,
You like the ingredient list?
yes, I do. I do like the ingredient list, but also because sometimes I do metalsmith, it's better for me to have non-coated wires. For stringing, I do like to use Softflex. I have used Beadalon before as well.
Yeah, and Softflex
So
also carries craft wire. They make a craft wire as well.
yes. So now we're gonna do that one more time, but we're just gonna attach it to the bottom. So, and you can attach a couple to the bottom if you wanted to. I think I squished this too much. Let's see. No, it looks okay. All right, I got my loop, and then I'm gonna just thread. Ah, oh, I got one of the little loops I made on there. There we go. And I'm
I'm
just
going in
wrapping
with my
around.
crimpers. I'm just gonna see what it's like. Oh, yeah, they do work nicely for tucking in ends
It's
on a wrap loop
amazing.
because they're like a wider. But that's interesting. They work really well. I like that. That was satisfying.
Yes, I love
Thank
using
you,
it for the
Nile.
bigger gauges too. So this is what it's gonna look like when you're all done, and it looks better hanging, I will say. And you can really just make this your own. You can add however much you want. You can add some more to the top. I went ahead and I can show this really quick too, how to make these. I know people like to see how to make ear wires. So now I'm just gonna attach my ear wire. Do you guys want me to show you how I made these really quick? I feel
It
like
never.
I show it fairly often, but I feel like people always want to know.
I just think it's nice to have the reminder because you do them so well.
They're so easy.
Yeah, but
When I
you
found out
do.
how easy they were, I was like, why did I never make this before? I don't like to use I wish I use the pre-made ones, but I don't like to use them um because the loop on the bottom, I always break it off.
Oh, just because it's so work hardened.
Yeah, I mean, I this sterling silver ones usually turn out fine, but any other ones, I don't know. I always break it off. Okay, so you're gonna start with a piece of wire that is 2¼ inches long. That is just the size that I've found works perfect for ear wires. You're going to want to work hard in it. For the sake of this video, I am not going to work hard in it, but you can work hard in it any way that you like to. Um, and then I'm going to start by making just a simple loop on the bottom. Then I'm going to come in with one of my beads. Now, these beads, not all of them are big enough for 20 gauge, so you're going to have to bear with me while I try to find one. Oh, this is 20 gauge wire. I'm sorry if I didn't say that. I like to use 20 gauge. It's a good ear wire gauge. 22 would also probably work, but I think it's a little thin. This one is not going to fit. Come on, guys. Which one of you has the big enough hole?
It's pretty impressive you're able to get any onto 20 gauge wire. I would have expected us to need at least 22, if not 24.
Well, if I don't find one in a second, I'm just going to grab a random bead and show you with that. There we go. Okay. So I've got my bead on there. And then I'm going to come in with my fingernail, actually, is my favorite tool to use on this, and bend the wire. So I've got it at a 90-degree angle. Then you're going to want to come in and use a tool, a round tool. I'll show you what I use. I've had this forever. This is just, I've had it probably for 15 years. It's just like a stepped mandrel, but you can also use a permanent marker, which is what we're going to use, because this is my little example one to show you. So you're going to come in, and you can actually even do it to the side and just twist your wire around if you want. But so just start by getting your wire in the groove, and you're just going to kind of meet the end. The Sharpie's a little bit bigger than what I usually use, but it'll work if you don't have anything else. And it gives it a really pretty nice little round. So if your wire is work hardened, it won't be quite this bean shaped. And then what I like to do is I like to come in at the end of it with a pair of flat nose pliers, and I just take them and I bend up the end, and it gives it a little finished look. And then you'll want to come in with a nail file or a piece of sandpaper and just smooth out the edge so it's not sharp. And that's how you make an ear wire. It's really
I love
simple.
it. I love it so much, Rachel. You have
The
no idea.
size loop, the size of whatever you put it around, you could use a pen too if you wanted, will really change kind of the shape of the ear wires. You can see here I used my mandrel for these, and then this was the Sharpie. So it changes like kind of the whole look of the ear wire. I love making my own ear wires though, because there's so much variation. This pair I did like a little loop. So, but I love doing the ones where you add your own bead because it just ties the whole earring together. But that is how you do that.
Sweet. I've been working away over here, Rachel, on some loopy loops, and
Yes.
I've got my 12, and what do I do from here?
Okay. So when you
Do you
have
want
your
to
12,
walk us through it again?
yeah. So once you have your 12, you're going to get a piece of 20 gauge wire, and you're going to get your focal bead. And where did I do? Oh, they're right here. Duh. I was like, where did my round nose go?
I got very determined to get my loops going, and then basically missed the entirety of Rachel assembling the earrings.
So yeah, you're going to make your simple loop, thread your focal bead on there, make another loop. So it looks like this, except I didn't make my loops close enough, so I would fix that if if I was making another earring, I would
Sure.
fix it. Then you're going to open up the one on the bottom, and you're going to thread on 4 of your dangles.
Okay, I've got 4 on.
And then a jump ring.
In between the 4.
Yeah. You can do that later if you want, but I think it's a lot easier to thread the jump ring on and then open it while it's still in the earring. Rather than like separating them all out is just
Not
too
like
much for me.
exactly what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then, did you put all 12 on there?
No, I put 4 on the
Okay.
first row.
Yeah, so 4, the jump ring, and then 4 more, and then close.
On that jump ring.
No, not on the jump ring.
Oh, you put 4 on either side of the jump ring on the first row.
Uh-huh.
Ooh, Rachel's loading them on.
Yeah, that's how you get it to look full.
Okay, got it.
Why don't you show us what you're doing?
I will. Give me 1 sec. I'm joining on my phone. I can show you what the hematite looks like.
Yes. I could probably show you too. It's right here.
Oh, hold on. Hold on.
Sam.
Alrighty, I'm back. I have an overhead.
Yay.
I don't have a bead mat. So here's my selections. I'm gonna have to backtrack for a moment. I'm using the 2mm hematite, which is so cool.
Okay.
And then I was debating between the leaf hearts and some lotuses, and I went with some purple lotuses. So
can we make you bigger?
yeah. Oh, right. Here you go. So I think I need to backtrack because currently I just have 2 on either side of the jump ring, and you want me to have 4 on either side of the jump ring, yeah? Alrighty, I'm on it. We'll have one last demo of how to assemble them, and then we'll wrap up the class by means of Rachel explaining it to me with her. Rachel, bless your patience.
Do you have chain?
No, I'm using more jump rings. I'm not. I didn't want to go digging. Alrighty, 4 of them. Jump ring.
And then 4 more.
This is actually so with the clusters I used to make. I used to do 1 on either side of the next jump ring. This is like already very different. I lost count.
Okay, so now you're gonna go in and grab
We'll
your
pretend like
jump
that's
ring
enough. Alrighty.
and open it up.
Okay.
And then put 2 on. And then your chain. So I guess another jump ring for you. And then 2 more.
Okay.
Okay.
Nice.
And then you would be putting 2 that you wrap directly on your chain.
Okay, at the very end.
Yeah, well, my chain was a little bit longer, so I guess you can just add jump rings if you want.
Just, yeah. All right. Well, I think I have a better sense. So I extend the length and then I can wrap some onto the chain and then I'll wrap 1 onto the very bottom. Yeah.
Yes.
I got it. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Rachel has the patience of a saint. Andrew says, love those focals. Where did you get them? Is Andrea asking about the moody heads?
I'm not sure.
Jesse had dropped the link. I can try it. What do you say? Oh, Jesse says he pinned the comment with a link to the moody heads. Those are the focal that Rachel used. I'm using some of the purple lotuses that I had in the shop. I don't remember if we still have them, but they're very fun.
Yes. Well, thank you everyone for being here.
Yeah, That's a cool. I feel like you're gonna get me back in the cluster groove, Rachel.
I feel like it goes pretty fast once you start going. Like it's a lot of beads when you think about it, but
Yeah,
once you start going, it's like, especially if you're using head pins, it's way faster.
yeah. I was using some ball head pins. These are pretty like a 24 gauge, and it worked really nicely. And I also just like the look of a ball head pin a lot
Yeah.
too.
It's very easy to make these earrings your own.
Absolutely. So if you do make them, well, this
Yes,
class has flown by.
please,
I'm like,
please
it's already
show them
done.
in Gem Chat. I'm so excited. I love to see all the variations everyone does. Um, it's so
Absolutely. I'm gonna grab the Moody head link because folks don't seem to
Yes,
have
the
it.
moody heads, I was not so sure about them, but they're really pretty.
They're so cool.
And they're kind of like subtly face shaped, so they're not just like that's a face.
Yeah.
Um,
So we're posting the link. It doesn't have a photo currently, but if you purchase that, you'll get a 10-piece set of those Moody heads that Rachel. Maybe you can give us a close up of the Moody heads one more time,
yes, moody
Rachel.
heads. I'll give it onto my good hand.
I love them so much. But the mask, I like your idea of calling them a mask bead also makes a lot of sense to me now, having heard that. Andrea's gonna do it with her black owls. I love that idea from the October box.
Ooh, oh, that's a good idea.
Tony says they are classy cha-cha earrings.
I love it. I love it. These would work. You could also make this cluster with the Christmas trees.
Yes,
That would be cute with some of the hematites.
that would be really
Hematite,
cute. Like little
like little
little
ornaments.
ornaments. Yeah. Oh, I love that.
And you could put the tree upside down. That could be interesting.
That would be a choice.
Did you say that would be a choice?
um,
I'm always
well,
into the choice. So
well, I'm gonna finish up this earring. TBD if I get to the
yes.
second one today. And thank you so much for sharing this design with us today, Rachel.
Yes, thank you again for being here, everyone. Please, please, please do show us. Sam, will you drop the Gem Chat link
Yeah,
in the comments,
of
please?
course.
You can post in the Gem Chat if you make them or if you made anything while you're streaming. We want to see it. We love seeing what you make.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
It's so fun getting to scroll gem chat at night and be like, oh, look at that pretty thing. Look at that pretty thing.
Look at
Oh,
that
love.
amazing thing.
Heart,
If you
heart.
do post them and you want me to see, sometimes I do miss things. So please don't hesitate to tag me in them.
Yeah, I love
Um,
that.
if I
Absolutely.
see if I see things, I comment on them usually, but sometimes I just can't catch everything.
Yeah. There's a lot more in gem chat than there used to be.
But thank you, everyone. Have a great weekend.
Happy weekend, everyone. We're doing our live sale on Sunday instead of Monday.
Oh,
We're doing at a Sunday at noon. We're doing our live sale. It's our pre-Black Friday sale. So I hope to see you on a Sunday for the first time in months. We used to do our Sunday sales and they're back just for this Sunday.
ooh.
So our first Black Friday deals are here. I will see y'all, I hope, on Sunday. Thank you,
All right.
Rachel, and I hope you have
Thank
a lovely weekend.
you too. All right,
All right,
bye.